What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Drop Dead Fred Show. I'm your host, Simeon. I'm going to let this intro run out, and then I'm going to get right into it. We got a lot to go over today. To do and jump around with a bunch of other things, but it's worth it. Like, I really find a lot of fulfillment doing this podcast, sitting down, talking. It's almost like a personal diary, and then it feels like whenever I get somebody to come on, they get to share their part of their journal or whatever they're going through in life. So I find it as a really productive part of, I guess, Johnstown, the entertainment scene. So, and hopefully to branch out from that. You know, I've been talking and working alongside a bunch of different artists from outside of Johnstown lately. So just a matter of time before I get them on a live stream podcast, or I get them to actually come out here and join me to sit down in the studio, you know. But either way, all in due time. I got a lot of stuff to go over today. Baby Slabs listening party should be coming up in the next couple weeks before the rollout really starts rolling out with my album. Is that we're going to get into that today. The rollout's technically already started, but yeah, it's new, so I'm kind of learning as I go, which isn't ideal for a quote-unquote debut album, but what are you going to do? Like, you either don't do it or you do it. So this is what I'm calling my debut. This is something I feel like is going to set me up and set me apart. So I'm definitely excited for that. So as long as we can get check-in, that's Heavy Check Sell, we can get Baby Slabs in for his podcast / listening party, we're going to be good on that. And then we're probably going to, until the new year, I'm probably just going to be lining up new artists to sit down with and stuff. I know in the new year I have artists supposed to come in that's local. I'm gonna keep that hush until I find out for sure if he's going to be able to make it. But yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes, is trying to get everybody's schedules to line up isn't real easy. But then again, like, you just got to keep pushing. Like, I can't sit here and blame anybody else for podcasts not being done. It's on me. Like, I could. It'd be real easy to be like, oh, I want to do podcasts, but this person doesn't show up or this person doesn't show up. You got to understand, people live their own lives. Then most of the people I talk to that haven't been able to come, except for the exception of one person, they genuinely want to come through. It's just life is hectic and crazy. So, that's the type of relationships you just got to let them take their course. And when the time will come, because you'll realize that, like, oh, wait, this is something really authentic we're sitting down with and dealing with right now that we wouldn't have done otherwise if we would have pushed the issue, pressed the issue, and tried to get the podcast done right away. So there's never anything like that about needing to reschedule or anything like that. The only thing I do is I appreciate when people let me know. Everybody's been letting me know. So it's not like I'm sitting there at 7 o'clock waiting for somebody to show up. It's always the day or the morning before. So I always have plenty of time in advance. So if you ever are scheduled and you just got to reschedule, just hit me up. That's my main thing, is just communication. So shout out to everybody that, like, Heavy Check, Baby Slabs, everybody else that was supposed to come on, or maybe already has come on that wants to come on again that we had to reschedule. All with the exception of one person. You're a real one. So besides that, I'm excited for everybody I named to come on. There's another artist that's supposed to come on in the new year. Like I said, I'm excited for him to come on. And then hopefully we're pushing for 2026 to really have the artist interview kind of take over. The real goal was to do a new podcast every week, which it could have worked out if I did solos, but I was told I talk a lot as a kid, so I'm not trying to think that I can really sit here for 30 minutes to an hour each podcast every week and sit here and talk about something. I've made podcasts that I haven't posted, but that was just because I feel like there wasn't much being said. Like I try to have a podcast where I can feel like it's getting the attention it deserves from me. Like I don't want to just be blabbing on and on. So like even today, like this is going to be the start that we're going to get into in a couple minutes is my album drop and what it really means to me, what I plan to do with it, and I'm about to show you 2 songs and kind of do a lyric breakdown and explain to you exactly what these songs mean to me. So that being said, a couple more things I just wanted to get into. If you want to get on the show and you know me personally or you don't know me, if you're watching it from outside of Johnstown, hit me up. I have a Discord, I have a Instagram, I have YouTube. I have all the platforms, but as far as capabilities of going live with you and interviewing you, that's something I'm trying to branch into 2026 and trying to get set up. Even in the rest of 2025, we still have 2 months, so if it works out, it works out great. But yeah, if you're an artist and you're trying to do some interviews, lock in. I think it's something that's really important for us to do as artists is to get comfortable behind a camera and get comfortable with a microphone and just talking. Because if you really plan on doing this the rest of your life, this platform right here, a small platform where there's not a lot of people, but everybody that's here is a super supporter and they're very, very locked into the process and the message that we're putting behind. This is a perfect platform for new artists like me, maybe like yourself, to hop on and talk because there's no stress. There's not like, oh, I'm not going to the Joe Rogan Experience. I'm going to the DDF show. And the DDF show is just starting out, but we're doing great. We have nothing but great supporters, and everybody that's tapped in, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I never in a million years, like my music, I'm a little bit of a narcissist for. I'm a little bit of a whatever, I don't know, like you have to be, like you have to think you're the shit, in my opinion. You have to have that sort of like egotistical maniac sort of thing going, but it has to be under control. With the podcast, it was something a little different. It wasn't really for anything materialistic. It was just something I wanted to do. I found passion in it, and I was like, I really think this would be cool. So there was nothing attached to it, which is this is what I really like. Is because if I post this and it gets 5 views, I don't care. Like, and I wish I could say that about my music, but it's just like when you feel like you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket, you feel like you need more than 5 views, and 5 people are a lot. So 5 people showing up to watch your stuff is still a lot. And like I've watched artists from the biggest artists. I study this stuff. I've watched the biggest artists, like legit artists. Let's go to Wiz Khalifa. Let's use Wiz Khalifa, a Johnstown legend. Let's use Mac Miller, Johnstown, Pittsburgh legend. Let's use Wiz Khalifa and Mac, for example. Go to their pages, go on their oldest videos. You could tell they didn't have backing. And back then, the label wasn't saying, okay, make these low-quality footage to trick the people into thinking you're independent. They didn't care about it back then. Like, the whole hustle was on selling CDs and selling this, so you could see where they started. And like you could watch vlogs of Khalifa talking about before his name was even Wiz Khalifa, So, and it's a build up. Like you could see, obviously now that they're this famous, that they're all gonna have a couple thousand views or whatever. But you'll see that they're not as popping as they were, and they weren't. And I guarantee they had 20, 30, 100 views at that point in the beginning. So if you're an artist just starting out, if you're an artist like going for years and years and years, it's just a consistency. That's all it is. Because I have people tell me that I work super hard. And if you are one of those people that look at me and think I work super hard, keep in mind, I am not doing nearly enough. Like nearly enough. Like not even a percentage wise. I'd say I'm 30% locked in. That means I got 70% to really lock in. And if you're looking at me and thinking I'm doing a lot, that means you got to do even more. Like it's a stressful thing, but if you really love it, if you really want it, there's an artist named Nick D. He says in his book, he says, do you want it bad enough? Russ says it. Do you want it bad enough? It's the truth. If you want it bad enough, like it comes with a lot of bullshit. Like it's not just being a music artist, a successful music artist in a mainstream era. It's running a business, running a successful marketing business, and running a business that people want to go to. And it's the hardest one to do because it's out of connect with the profit buying, unless you're selling merch at that point and all that. But in my opinion, it's like it's been a real grind to throw yourself out there and have enough confidence behind a screen. And my wife was just saying it. She just watched a little short I made. She goes, I don't know how you have that much confidence behind the screen. And I don't. Like, it's just, you just do it and do it and do it and do it. And eventually you just don't care. Like, I'm at a point where I don't care. I only care about making a good product. That's like where I'm at with it. And that's hopefully where I'm going to stay with it, because then you fall in love with the journey and not the destination. Before you know it, you're where you were looking to get, and you didn't even realize that you were. You were just so focused on grinding. So, yeah, into that mode, like for the past year, I've been working on this little project called Family Over Everything that we're going to get into the backstory with it a little bit on here. It's going to go more into depth, but long story short, when I got introduced into the Johnstown music scene, I got introduced with a couple people. And those same people are still my friends today. I still talk to them on a regular basis. They're still my brothers, I would say. You know, like they're in. Like, it hasn't been a super long standing friendship / relationship. You know, it's been a couple for like 3 to 5 years for most of them. And that being said, when we got started, I decided I wanted to form a group, so I made a group called Project 814. We had a couple people intertwined during the mix of this, and it kind of fell apart. I'm not putting the blame on anybody, but long story short, I got kicked out of that group. And at the time, it really fucked with me, because in my head, what I was creating, first off, I saw how big it was, which I didn't realize at the point that nobody else in that group realized how big it was. So when I got kicked out, I wasn't just getting kicked out of a little music group that we all made, you know. I got kicked out of my winning ticket, because this was my Drop Dead Fred show. Drop Dead Fred show was not even an idea until after Project 814, because the Project 814, I wanted to have a podcast intertwined with. I basically wanted to make a team of artists that we all work together. I've realized now that that's not ever going to happen. And that's no hate, it's just, it's too big of a competition. And me, I'm willing to stand on the sidelines and do all the work and have somebody winning, as long as I'm attached to that win. Other people don't see it like that, so that type of thing won't work. Instead, I made a Drop Dead Fred show. DDF Records, Drop Dead Fred show, the Drop Dead Fred studio, the DDF collective. This is mine, all right? That being said, I want to work with other artists during this. That's why I have artists on. That's why I sit down with them and talk to them about their music. But they're not my group. They're not part of my group. Some of them might be closer to me than others. I met a lot of people this year that I've really connected with. So, like, yeah, of course I'm going to work with them a lot. I'm going to talk to them a lot. I'm going to connect with them a lot. But it's still mine. I'm under control of it. And a person told me once before, and he's rest in peace now, but his name was Kim. And he said, don't ever go into business with anybody. Don't ever have a partner. Don't ever have a partner. Shit goes wrong when you have a partner. 100% true. Because that's when the blame game starts. And that's what happened to me with the Project 814 shit. It got blamed on me. And in my head, I was like, wait a second. I'm working 8 to 10 hours a day, coming here and taking care of my family. And I'm not working hard enough. I'm the hardest worker here. And you can get into a real pity fest like that. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I didn't make any wrong decisions during that time frame. Nothing I can say I super regret, but stuff I can say that if it was antagonized correctly and repeatedly, I would have broke character. I would have stepped out of my character. So I'm happy that I'm not in that place anymore. And I'm also happy it happened. So you already know who you are. I don't need to say your name. And I'm not trying to start beef. I'm just speaking truth. You lost the real one. The real ones know, because the real ones that are in the group still talk to me, because I'm solid as they come. I'm just going to let you know. That being said, you lost the real one. That's on you. But you inspired me. Thank you, anonymous viewer, to create Family Over Everything. Because basically the reason that I got kicked out was because I was putting my family over the group, which is in my head what I'm supposed to do. Especially when there was no sacrifice to be made at that point. All the sacrifices that were to be made weren't real sacrifices. It was back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? I figured it out. So a lot of hatred went into the album originally. We got Pan going. What's going on with that? But a lot of hatred went into this album originally, and that's why it took so long to make, because I had to hone it, and I had to take that out of there. The passion from the hatred's still there, but I had to learn that I wasn't making an album to diss a bunch of people. I was making an album to set myself apart from those people, and to make sure that if the time came and they wanted to listen to it, that they understood that we were no longer the same. And that's not everybody that was in that group or anything. So if you were in a group and you hear this, you already know. You already know what it is if we're talking. Like, it's obvious. That being said, Family Over Everything was enticed to show you that I'm a man of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I remember everything. So don't try to gaslight me into thinking that you're right and I'm wrong, because I love to argue already. I deal with it in my day-to-day. It's not that I'm always right. I'm just very rarely wrong, all right? And that could sound crazy, but I'm my father's son, so I don't care. It's been proven over and over again, and it's not really that I think I'm always right. It's that I'm comfortable with losing because I know the learning process from it. That's all it is. And people see that, and they take it, and it stings their armor. Many people, not just the people that I'm talking about in this previous. It's been going on in my life. So this album really was just that Project 814 was just the last straw. But there's plenty of factors beforehand that I had to grow past, and I had to learn in order to create this project. But that being said, I'm super excited for it to come. It's been a long awaited journey. I'm trying to do it completely right. We recorded this first one in November, and that was of last year. We dropped it in February. It took 3 months to mix. It was one of those Billie Jean deals where you were on your 100th take of it and you realized the original was the best. So for real, it took 3 months to record for no reason. I don't know how long of this song I'm going to play. I think it's only a 2-minute song. So I think I'm going to try to run through the whole thing. I'm going to explain what I thought it was when I recorded, and I'm going to explain what it really is. So, yeah, that's where it gets a little weird, because even with this album, because I was recording with such hatred in my heart, a lot of the things that I was saying on the track, I was just projecting onto myself. But having those sort of people around me made me realize I didn't want to be anything like them, and I was becoming like them because I was saying it's okay in my head because I see it in front of me. So at the time of this recording, I thought that I was dissing somebody. Several months later, I realized I was still dissing somebody, but that person was myself. Call the cops.
I can't do it, baby. Oh, I've tried so hard, but I just can't do it, baby, no.
But I got it ticking in my brain, you just not. So I know that we are not the same, you like to die. But I really like inflicting pain, you heard that pop. You heard that pop. I try to stop, but I got it ticking in my brain, you just a knob. So I know that we are not the same, you like to tie. But I really like inflicting pain, you heard that pop. That boy will never walk the same again, don't call the cops. Yeah, go call the. That boy will never walk the same again, go call the cops. Go call the. That boy will never walk the same again, go call the. Who are you calling? Cause then it goes busted. I'm 3 steps ahead since I moved out of luxury. I'm like my father, my daddy was stumbling. I got my Mustang, but you might in the dumpster. Let's do this properly, cause now I got properly. Counting my broccoli, stacking these collard greens. Now back to my equity, bitch at 170. I talk shit, I earned it. I walk in the bank and I tell them to give me the money because I just fucking deserve it. Man, it's a whole different day, this a whole different game. I woke up like a whole different.
I already know. I cooked. Yo. Real talk. I just want that song's fire. I'm super excited for that to be on the project. Call the Cops. All produced by Nora. This is all by the same producer. I found his producer last year. Keep in mind, this dude's growing immensely. When I found him, he was right under 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I think right under 1,000 subscribers. He's at now 17,000 today at this point. So shout out Nor first off. We literally hundreds, like I'm not even joking, hundreds of tracks onto this freaking computer, all Nor beats. I don't know what it is about him. Not 100% sure. He cooks it every time, and it started with this song right here. This was the first beat I heard from him, and I had to have it. I hit him up instantly, got him on a call. I said, listen, I know this is weird, but we're going to make history together. I don't know if he even believes it yet. I don't even know if he really gets it yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen because this dude has way too much talent, and I feel like the beats he makes, some, not all of them, but most of them, I feel like they're just made for me. If that makes sense. I can't even. It might sound wild, it might sound stupid. But long story short, that was Call the Cops. So yeah, recorded it. I was super upset. It had to do with a lot of people at the time, and now it only has to do with one. It has to do with me. And it was projecting. So if it applies to you, you should definitely look into yourself in the mirror, because I think it's something that's important to really change yourself at some point, because you have two lives, bro. You have, I don't exactly know how the saying goes, so I might butcher it, but you have two lives. You have the one life is the beginning of your life, and the second life is when you realize you don't have that much time or something. And that's like really, the second life is when you start living. Like, actually, because you spend your whole life just stuck in this sort of, like, motion. And I don't know, maybe it's not everybody. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like it's that way. And it seems like if you wait too long, you're just stuck there. And you hate anybody that doesn't want to be there. You think they're wrong. You think they're stupid. And you gaslight them. It's just what happens. So that was being done to me a lot. And instead of separating myself from the situation maturely, I made a diss song. That being said, the diss song turned into something beautiful, to a point where, like, I could listen to it and almost cry, because I realized that the lyrics I was talking to myself, a younger version of myself, right when I had my son, and saying, listen, like, you can't walk the same again. Like, you're not going to be the same. You're killing your old self. Go call the fucking cops. I just killed my old self. I'm maturing. Like, I'm coming to a point where I can't mess with you no more. Talking to the old me. And I never even knew that until I was driving down the road probably 3 months ago, maybe even less, maybe give or take a month. And I looked at my wife and I said, do you know what this song's about? And she said, the people, the multiple people. She goes, yeah, it's about da-da-da-da-da. And I said, no, this is about me. And it was a real deep moment for that. So, like, I'm sorry if you listened to it and you thought it was about you, but it turns out I might have thought that too. But it's about this guy right here. This dude. This fucking man. But yeah, it's about me not being able to walk the same again, killing my old self, being interested in my new self, but also not being perfect at the same time. That's what the album will consist of. You'll see that. You'll see growth, but you'll also see backpedaling, if that makes sense. So some of the growth that I put on the album is a song that I called Expectations. I have a remix coming on the extended version. I'm not going to get too much into that right now, but this whole album was created in the course of, like I said, a year. But the main LP of it, which was 8 tracks, so I did the Call the Cops in November. Then as soon as January hit, from December 26th, that 8-day pass, I recorded the rest of the album. Probably more than that. So probably till January 15th. So from December 26th to January 16th, every day I recorded a new song. And the first 7 days is what this album is. And it was just fire on fire on fire on fire on fire. It just wouldn't stop. And I just was scared. Like, I'd go down, like, my wife would be like, you going back down again? I'm like, I have to. I don't know what's going on. I feel locked in. I thought I was about to drop it right there. And I don't know. Like, it just, there's so much to go into a real project to actually put 8 songs together and promote them all properly and actually push each song properly and give it its right to shine. So that way it actually gets the proper amount of exposure it needs. It's not an easy thing to do, even though it might seem like it. But this was, so it's wild because it's literally the track list. Everything but the first song that was recorded last. So that was recorded on like the 16th of January. maybe even farther into January, but that's called Out of City Bounds 2. But everything else was recorded like right in order. It was pretty neat. So this was recorded on the fourth day, mixed with the fifth day, because I was going into multiple days type of deal. And it's called Expectations. I don't even know where it came from. Like, I was finding beats, I was recording, and I was rolling, but most of the beats I was finding was like right on the moment. And I just found this, and I just said what came to my mind. Like, I specifically remember, it wasn't on this exact recording, but on the original demo recording of it, it was just a one take, and I was just freestyling. That's really where I get my best stuff. But listening back to it, I realized I didn't curse at all. It made me feel like this might sound corny at all, might sound corny too, but I don't care, because Jesus ain't corny, Yeshua ain't corny, Yahweh ain't corny. I feel like God was really speaking through me in this. So this one is just about really, like, I don't care what you do to your day to day. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you act. I don't care how you talk, walk, do this, that, the third. You have to show up. That's the number one thing that I expect from you, is if you say you're going to show up, just show up. That's my biggest pet peeve. Like, huge pet peeve. I don't even want to get into it, but the song will speak for itself. So let's listen to Expectations. I'll break it down for a couple minutes, and we'll get out of here.
No, don't try to stop me. Just expect me.
Hey, welcome. It's family over everything. Let's get started. Yes, I'm a man of my word. So if I say I'ma do something, then I'ma do it. Created the man, created the words. I swear all we do is it. Now it sounding absurd. Cancel the plans, thinking that you gon' do it. Man, we all gon' do it. Man, we all gon' do it. Yes, I'm a man of my word. So if I say I'ma do something, then I'ma do it. God created the man, created the words. I swear all we do is abuse it. Now you're sounding absurd. Cancel the plans, thinking that you gon' do it. Man, we all gon' do it. Just talked to my therapist. She said that I'm about to lose it. Swear I done already lost it. I hit up my manager, told him to put me to Roxy. He said the fam is just small, I won't pull no heads, and I really don't care what it costs. So I pull up to the show and I hop on the stage, and I swear I do not see nobody. You think I'm mad? I had to improvise. I went and turned up right out of the lobby. Nah, I'm capping. I got some business plans. I am a businessman, keeping it G. The G stand for gentleman, all of your mental man. All of my friends like, what happened to me? Then I took everything, put it right under my family. It happened inevitably. Watch out for sins, that could be tricky. You buy one, you getting like 7 for free. So spread this news, and nation to nation. Follow dreams and aspirations. Make your family obligation. No limitations and negotiations. And if you can't hear just what I'm saying, don't expect no invitation, cause you did not meet the expectations.
Expectations. Yes, I'm a man of my word, so if I say I'm gonna do something, then I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I mean, I think that song really speaks for itself. There's a video out on YouTube for it. It's a beautiful video. Made it with my son. Behind the video a little bit, me and my father don't get along. I love my dad though. Don't talk like it says right. It says right in the Bible, do like honor your father and mother. So I try to do that. That being said, like, I try to talk good about my dad. We just don't get along. We don't see eye to eye. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But any chance I get to connect with him, I try to. He put together like a family shoot with his with one of his customers that also has a photography studio, and it was on that couch that's in the music video for Expectations. So I rented out the same studio. I made sure they had the same exact couch there, and me and my son just kind of did our thing. It was definitely a proud moment. It was the first like official video that I was able to just script out and create. It went better than I imagined, you know. So it was something I was definitely really proud of. I still am really proud of at that. It's a lot going on, a lot going into this album constantly. If you have a second, if you're still here 29 minutes and 25 seconds into this, pre-save my album. You won't be disappointed. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do before the album drops. I might have 1 or 2 more just pieces about family over everything and just what it entices and what I feel like you're going to see from it. But besides that, I'm super excited for this project to drop. It's been long awaited. I can't speak too much about 2026 besides artist interviews for music. I know I want to do a lot, but I got a family. I got a lot of stuff going on, so that's what comes first. But no matter what, we're gonna fuel our dreams one way or another, and no compromises at all on either spectrum. You just have to learn how to look at it with perspective and realize that you can get what you want out of it, but you just can't make no excuses. So that being said, thank you for tapping in. It's been a great episode of the DDF show. We're about to run the Drunken Clam, drop Dead Fred original, you already know, as the outro. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you're doing what you love and loving what you do. 814 Simeon, tuning out.